Alright, everybody, we should be live for the latest episode of our show, Indie Inquiries, where we review and provide analysis on store pages submitted by indie developers. I'm, of course, Josh Bycer, and joining me, my co-host from Nexus Games, Sharky.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
It is a hot one here. My allergies are flaring up, so I'm sure I'll be losing my voice several times during this analysis.
You don't need your voice.
Hopefully sound levels are good in terms of people being able to hear us. Everyone's all set up, and I think we are ready. So we have two games for this week, both submitted by developers. And we're going to start with Tauronos. So this is the other game from the developer of that 7 Days game that we looked at a few weeks ago.
So looking at the thumbnail, I meant the text is really clear in the middle. I really like the Minotaur-like creature at the top, but that bottom guy is really kind of obscured.
Yeah. And he's facing the opposite direction as well, I guess, to be a mirror, but it's kind of hard to know what he's doing.
Yeah. And the sides are really vacant.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative text, or a lot of negative space.
Negative text. What is negative text? Is that where... Is that where you put cuss words in it and it's just negative?
Yeah.
Or just insults?
I mean, the thumbnail itself is very clean, but it's not really popping. I guess.
Yeah, I agree. So what are we thinking for a grade for it?
I'm thinking somewhere... I think maybe like a B-. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say B- for it.
And I feel like we have, like, from, like, the screenshots that we'll get in a few minutes, there's, like, a lot of, like, tile, there's, like, temple and, runes kind of stuff. I think maybe just brightening up the thumbnail a little bit and having some more detail there would help it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, are you ready for the trailer?
Alright, here we go.
Logo at the beginning, bad idea. This is really generic.
Yeah.
Check screen. And repeating.
I can't tell if this is Steam's like a video software or the trailer, but the graphics look very muddy when they're actually showing the in-game footage.
That may be the trailer.
I like the font that's used, but the in-betweens with it is way too long.
Yeah, and they feel generic. Out of place. Now, if he had done that in like game graphics, that would have been a lot better. Also, the issue is everything was the same color in there, so like it didn't feel like there was any different kind of content in there.
Yeah, and no call to action at the end.
Yeah, there's just a logo at the end and no like available on Steam, available on mobile, available wherever.
And just a black screen as well, not even, any fade in or any, like, effect.
Or any kind of decoration.
It's short. I mean, it's under a minute, which is good. It's speedy, but I think it feels slower than it is. What about you?
Yeah. It wasn't a whole lot slower than it was, but it was definitely slower than what it was. I mean, he could probably cut out like 5-10 seconds of that screen transition stuff and be just way better just because of that.
So grade wise, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe low C. What about you?
I was thinking D+.
Yeah, D+, C-, I think is like right in that range.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the screenshots. And again, this is part of the problem, is that because of how the game looks, it's very hard to kind of differentiate one screenshot from the next.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem with the game itself. And
Mm-hmm.
he should have done some alternate art and made like different colors. Like there's a yellow level, there's a red level, there's a blue level, there's a
Mm-hmm.
purple level.
I know.
Especially the purple level, because I think a purple level would look really, really good for a dungeon.
Hmm. Now I
I
know the
think the
final
blue level looked good.
screenshot that was definitely not in the trailer. That's kind of
Yeah,
like a more wide open.
I think most of these are not in the trailer, if not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
One or two might be, but
It's hard to
it's hard to
tell.
tell because everything looks so samey, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if he just did color variants of these, it would go a long ways.
Yeah.
It wouldn't solve your issue, but it would go a very, very long way.
Yeah. So, how do you want to grade this one? Because the screenshots, for the most part, appear to be original, but the design of the game makes them look so generic.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have to discredit it somewhat because of the game, because the game is showing through onto the thumbnail, screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think there's a problem with the screenshots themselves, just with the game's effect on the screenshots, because they're all samey kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe C plus.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I think C plus is about right for this.
All right.
All right. So about this game and
Before we go to about this game, I noticed this $5 price tag, and that's what we talk about prices. That's generally a red flag right there.
yeah, I mean the game was released in 2017, so that was pretty much right around when the valuation was at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to convince someone. I think in today's market, why should I spend $5? Like, what's the catch?
Yeah.
All right. So about this game, and there really isn't a lot here.
He's got this one image at the bottom, and I feel like that if he broke up these decorations at the top and used those as small little banners, that would just look so good in here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, being an action-based game, he needs GIFs down here that actually
Mm-hmm.
show what's going on in the game, and he also needs to take advantage of the blue text and
Mm-hmm.
come in here and put that in here.
Yeah, and as you said, like you could use like the style for like the like the banner or kind of like that display, and use that for like custom banners or a GIF. Just something to give this page a little bit more of a look to it.
Yeah, and maybe some burning
Torches or
torches. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
burning torches would you could put a burning torch on the sides of these and make that look really good
mhm,
as a GIF banner kind of thing.
yeah. So part of the problem when we were just talking about this is that so far we've spent like about 5-6 minutes looking at the store page, and it's hard to know exactly what this game is. Is it a dungeon crawler? Is it an action adventure game? Like, the footage and the screenshots make it really hard to know exactly what this game is going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the user defined tags of survival horror, that I think is stretching it.
Yeah. But when we so about this game page grade, what are we thinking here?
I'm thinking the D range, maybe D plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go D plus somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. So we have the title card, and what we have over here. So you have a website, but no social media contacts.
Yeah.
And for the genre, I think it could have used action.
Yeah. And maybe another one too.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely action.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you think of her grade over here?
Mm, I mean, no social contact other than website. That's a biggie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're missing, I think, probably the most prevalent tag. I think that would fit for this.
Yeah,
Uh,
action one.
I'm thinking the D range, maybe D plus.
I was just going to be a little bit lighter than that. I was going to say C minus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe D plus C minus for me. But again, social contact is or social media contact is very important, especially if you want people to try and reach out and want to cover your game.
Yeah, but I mean, if he can they can technically do that through the website if he has that set up right.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have a contact.
Let's see.
So what are we thinking overall? The thumbnail's fairly good. The trailer's halfway decent.
But a lot of the page is just not. It has gotten a lot of D's from us.
Mm-hmm. But it's the most important two. I think were the highest grades.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking maybe C minus. What about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking C minus.
Yeah. The problem again is that so much of what he has access to is very hard to kind of make out. Like if you look at every screenshot, it's it's foggy. There's very little, it's always focused on the center of the screen, so there's a lot of darkness. So it's very hard to like. There's nothing here that's like really catching somebody's eye.
Yeah. Which I get that he's trying to go for an eerie theme, but
you can do eerie without a complete, blackness the game, as we've said before. Yeah. All right.